Hello, my beautiful train wrecks. This is Jill, and
Hi.
it's Philip! And welcome to Diamond Painting with the Edwards. And, we're getting really close. These are the only 2 squares left. I did everything else. It's gonna be great. Okay, so, have you joined our Facebook yet? We got a Facebook group. It's gonna be down below in the comments. Do you have our stickers yet? At the end of all the videos, if you look down in the descriptions, you will see a link for a Google document. Fill that out. We will send you stickers. And I promise, after I address the envelope, I delete. So you're not going to get bothered by us, but only once. And let's see. We are going to finish talking about, or finish, Buckingham Palace. We're going to talk about royal residences from the website royal.uk. So, Philip, take it away while I diamond paint.
I'm trying to understand the wording on this thing.
Okay. What is the wording?
Apparently, a marble arch was completed by 1847 to the front of the palace.
Oh.
And an attic floor.
Okay.
The main block. And they had to replace a lot of the soft French stone used on the east front in the turn of the century because it was deteriorating from London's general Londoning.
Yeah. A lot of smog in London at the time. They burned coal.
Right, and they have burned coal through almost all the way to today, honestly. They're currently trying to ban household coal. But that's currently.
Yeah.
They refaced the facade in 1913. And they commissioned Sir Aston Webb to do so, as he was esteemed and credited with a lot of public buildings. It was made of Portland stone. It took a year to prepare, and then work began. It took 13 weeks to reface everything they needed to.
Wow.
And that included removing all the old stonework.
That's not a lot. I wonder how many people they had working. That don't seem like a long time, considering all that. Well, hello, Betty, our diamond painting kitty. She is on her favorite spot, the back of the chair.
Okay, they backtrack a little bit here. In 1911, the forecourt was built. That's where the changing of the guard takes place today.
Ah.
And that was part of the Victoria Memorial Scheme. The gates and railings were also completed the same year. And the North Central Gate is the entry to the palace for everyday use. And the Central Gate is used for more important occasions.
Okay.
And departure of the guard after changing the guard.
Okay.
And all that work was completed just before the First World War in 1914.
Oh. That stinks, because didn't Buckingham Palace get hit?
I do not know.
I thought it got hit. A part of it got hit in the war. I don't know.
And
I'll have to look that up.
today, Buckingham Palace is open to the public in the summer for a small amount of tours. December, January, and Easter.
Oh, okay.
And that's it.
That's it?
That's it.
That's all of Buckingham Palace?
Yep.
Okay.
And you can just using the official thing, you can find out more at the Royal Collection Trust.
Yeah, that's RCT. Dot. I have it written down.
I don't know.
But yeah, I've talked about them. RCT.
Yeah, all the research and information comes from royal.uk.
Yeah, RCT.uk is the trust. They are very knowledgeable. That website is really good. Okay, so let's go from Buckingham Palace to Windsor. And that's going to be probably this video and the next one. Talking about it, because there's a lot that goes on in Windsor, and there's a lot of history in Windsor. Ah, cat fight.
Franklin, calm down. Carl, come here, please. Now listen, bud, you need to stop that. It's not nice. Frank's your elder. You gotta respect him.
Yeah. Frank is the oldest one of the bunch, Bubba.
You may be bigger, but he's wiser.
All right. So what is going on at Windsor?
I don't know. I don't have that page. You didn't give it to me.
Oh, okay. Let me pull up Windsor. I thought I had it.
I do not know how to navigate your phone.
Okay, this is easy enough. Royal Residences, Windsor Castle.
All of our phones are of a similar model, but mine's the oldest of the three.
Mm-hmm.
And right after mine, they decided to change everything of how it operates. I'm not looking forward to my next phone.
Yeah.
Because my phone's dying very quickly.
Yeah. Well, phones anymore, they don't last long. So tell us about Royal. If you need a moment to read ahead, go for it.
Yeah.
So how are you guys today? It's been a busy day. This is done ahead of time. So today is actually going to be a few weeks for you. But it's Friday. And we went over and helped Wyatt clean out some of the garage and work in the attic so they can store more stuff up there. So I got up in the attic and I put pieces of plywood down to make a floor so you don't have to walk on the rafters. So they can store more. And yeah, so that's what I did. I got up and I played in the attic today. It was fun. And then we washed walls down and because it had never been cleaned, so you can imagine the whole time it's been a garage and not been cleaned up, it was a little messy. The walls were a little garage dirty. So we washed them down and we mopped them with mops. Little sponge mops that you can get at a dollar store, and some good old elbow grease, and we mopped the ceilings and the walls with some cleaning. So yeah, he's getting his own little college graduation pad all worked out, and yeah, I'm excited. So yeah. And this is going to look a lot better than the last video because we called Wyatt and we were like, oh help, we're blue and green and red, and so he gave us some tips and now it looks more like it's supposed to look.
Okay, hold on a second.
Okay.
I need to think we just gotta skip all the way down to here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yes, just about the history.
The page is kind of awkward.
Well, like, that's why I recommend everybody goes to the site and read it all, because there's a lot of pictures and a lot of like different social media posts and stuff. So you have to kind of scroll down. So yes, the history of Windsor.
Well,
that's what we want to know.
Yeah, well, yeah. Even here in the history part of it, they word it very awkwardly.
Okay.
So it's
just do your best, just to try to give them a little tidbit of knowledge.
Well,
of the Queen.
I guess the first thing I can say is that it's nearly 1,000 years old.
Okay.
And it's been continuously used ever since it was incepted in, I think, the 1070s.
Okay.
Because William the Conqueror built it.
Ah. That was a back.
That was. Yeah, he chose the site on the river
Thames.
Yeah. It is Thames, yeah.
Yeah, it's Thames. And you know how I know that? Because there's a certain comedian that when his show would come up, it would say Thames. And then I was like, Thames? You know, and then
It's Thames, yeah.
He say Thames Television. And I was like, I love Benny Hill.
Yeah, it's Benny Hill. You can say who.
Yeah, I just had to write it down. So yeah, I've got to write down everything I say.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently it was built on the edge of a hunting ground and a day's march from the Tower of London.
Oh, okay.
Intended to guard the western approach to the capital. Apparently, the outer walls, today are not the original, but they're in the exact same position as the original ones.
Okay.
And the central mound of the round tower and upper ward is the same as the original positions. I don't know if any of the original is left at this point.
Well, I know they had a really nasty fire, and I don't know how much damage was done.
And apparently, the round tower and upper ward is where the monarchs have their private apartments since the 14th century.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
In
they're snowy.
1170s, Henry II rebuilt the tower in stone instead of wood, and most of the outer walls and uppermost end of the lower ward of the royal apartments in the upper ward.
Okay.
1360s, we've gone up a bit. Edward III was actually born there, and extended the castle, and he was going to, or rather, he was born. Again, they word this a little bit wrong. Rather, he was born there. I don't know if it was in the 1360s, but rather, he was born in the 1360s, or he extended it in the 1360s.
Okay.
Great St. George's Hall, which were made for the Knights of the Order.
Okay. I wonder if that's the order of the Knights of the Order of the Garter. So I thought.
10 British monarchs lie buried in the chapel. Oh, Roman numerals.
Okay.
Edward IV, Henry VI, Henry VIII, Charles I, George III, George IV, William IV, Edward VII, George V, and George VI.
Oh.
Are all buried there.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. The castle was captured in the Civil War by John Venn in 1642. 1643, the castle was used as a prison for the war. Okay, and in 1648, Charles I was held there before his execution. And it was brought to St. George Chapel during a snowstorm to bury him.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know he would be mentioned. Oliver Cromwell took it over in 1650.
Oh.
And he was made Lord Protector in 53.
Okay.
And was one of his official residences. And
why was you shocked at that? How did you know about that?
I don't know much about him, but there is a famous preserved steam locomotive named Oliver Cromwell.
Oh, okay. So that's how you know him.
I only know the name. I literally know nothing else of him.
Okay. Well, that counts. That's history.
Yeah, I just thought he came from a later era. I didn't realize it was this early. Okay. Charles II was determined to make the castle beautiful as possible after a restoration. Created a new set of state apartments in the 1670s. And, yeah. He hired Hume and Antonio Vario for murals and the ceiling paintings. And the Grinling Gibbons, woodcarver. Apparently, Windsor Castle has virtual tours that are temporarily unavailable.
Oh, okay.
It's just randomly placed in here.
Oh, okay. Well, when COVID was going on, though, I'm sure they probably had virtual.
Okay.
And I know you guys are probably thinking, why on earth is she skipping around? I just place where I see.
King's dining room and Queen's presence, audience chambers are pretty much original condition.
Okay.
They always have original features. Charles II had a long walk built south from the castle to Windsor Great Park. Most of the present artistic look of the castle is because of George IV. He was very artistically minded, apparently. So,
is he tearing down something?
I don't know.
Sounds like it. Okay.
But yeah, he made it look kind of mostly what it is today.
Okay.
Yeah. In the 1820s, apparently.
Okay.
So it's basically remained the same for the last 200 years. So that's something interesting to keep in mind, I guess.
Yeah.
It's in a Gothic style.
Okay.
With crenellations, turrets, and towers.
Okay.
The upper ward, the apartments were moved from the north side to the south and east side.
Make sure you're watching the sound bar.
I'm not even looking at the screen. I'm looking at things.
Okay, just make sure you talk a little louder so they can hear you, or scoot up a little bit.
I can't scoot up.
Okay, and speak a little louder.
Okay. In 1820s, George IV added the Waterloo Chamber to show the portraits from Sir Thomas Lawrence to commemorate the defeat of Napoleon.
Oh, okay.
And apparently it shows famous people involved in the Battle of Waterloo and its aftermath. It includes George III, George IV, and William IV, who would be next, and the Duke of Wellington.
Oh, okay.
And along with emperors of Austria and Russia, and kings of Prussia and France, and the Pope.
Oh, hang on. We're going for a ride. The board keeps slapping. I don't need that anymore. I have a pool noodle that is was stuck on the very top of the board up there. Sorry, I didn't mean to flip you off. The top of the board, so I can have the painting go over and I don't lose any diamonds. So sorry for flipping you off.
In 1845, Queen Victoria opened the state apartments up to the public for the first time.
Oh, I didn't even. Okay.
Prince Albert died of typhoid in Windsor in 1861. and was buried in a mausoleum the Queen Victoria constructed, Frogmore, at the home park of Windsor.
Yeah, Frogmore. Yep.
Okay, skipping all the way up to the Second World War.
Okay.
Windsor was, of course, home to Princess Elizabeth and Margaret Rose during the war, and Queen Elizabeth II spent a good amount of time at Windsor throughout her life and her final years. She held audience and receptions in the staterooms there, and it was her residence throughout the entirety of the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah. It was going to be a little safer there, they said.
We're going to backtrack.
Okay, take us back.
The 20th century history. It had a major fire that started on the 20th of November, 1992, that began the private chapel. Apparently, a spotlight came in contact with a curtain and ignited. 15 hours and 1.5 million gallons of water to put out the entire thing.
Wow.
Damages include 9 principal rooms and over 100 other rooms of the 9,000 square meters. The damaged or destroyed.
Oh wow.
So 1/5 the castle.
I mean, it don't seem that bad when you just hear that, but if you think of the history, 1/5 is a lot. There's a lot missing, or a lot destroyed there. That's...
And the 5 years after the fire would have the biggest restoration project in the history of the UK. At least in the 20th century.
Yeah.
Bring back many traditional crafts, and it was completed 6 months ahead.
Oh, good.
In 1997, a month before I was born. Well, a month and a day, actually.
Yeah.
20th of November, 1997.
Yeah. The Queen said in an interview that year, the year of the fire, was the worst year of her life. And I understand that. She lost people that she loved. Marriages broke down. It was pretty bad. That was a rough year, the fire. It was a rough year for the Queen.
It took $37 million, but that was out of a $40 million budget, so they were under budget too.
Oh, that's good.
And most of the revenue was raised, 70% of the revenue actually, was raised from opening Buckingham Palace's staterooms to visitors.
Oh, okay.
30% was cost was from the annual grant.
Yeah.
And they made this clear, undertaking no additional cost to the taxpayer.
Good. That's good. I mean, she seemed to be very reasonable and frugal. I've heard stories about her being very frugal. I mean, if she cut into a chocolate cake and she was going somewhere, they packed that chocolate cake up instead of making her another one. She ate every bit of it. So I could see, her being that age when rationing in the war, that she was kind of frugal, and I'm glad that she didn't go so extreme.
Okay, apparently 6 days before they officially reopened it, on the 14th, they had the Queen and Prince.
Hey! My goodness.
This is why we can't keep the door open.
This is why we can't have anything nice. No, they do it. You hear it the same. It doesn't matter if the door's open or not. You still hear it.
Only if Betty's in here. But yeah, they had the Queen and Prince Philip had a party for the 1,500 contractors on the 14th. That was
nice.
And when they officially opened on the 20th, they celebrated their golden wedding anniversary with the ball there.
What a perfect timing.
And
they loved each other so much.
The only other thing they say is that Windsor Castle is open to the public all year round.
Mm-hmm.
And the only other things that it mentioned earlier was that King Charles also spends a good amount of time there now.
Yeah.
And that he's had Biden there recently.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I think there was, I think they're getting ready to do one, or they've done Japan.
I'm not sure. It doesn't mention it.
I thought I may have seen that, or that's coming up. I'm not sure. If it is, I'll put it in the description. If it's not, just pay no attention to me. I've done a lot this week.
But that's all to really say about Windsor, too.
Really? Okay, so
These
what?
pages are awkward, but they don't really have too much detail.
Okay, well then let's go down. There's more residences. You're like, oh, wonderful.
Yeah. If you can't tell, I'm sorry I'm not as energetic, but I'm more passionate about trains and even other forms of transport more than I am architecture.
Let's see. What would you like to talk about? There's Kensington, the Holyrood House, or St. James's Palace, or Clarence House. Let's just do Clarence House. It's next. And it doesn't have much, so, okay.
Well, it needs to have a history section or we're going to not be able to do this.
Yeah, you can.
I only do it with the history because otherwise it's...
Yeah, it talks about when it was built and all that. That's history. Yes. Woo. Just give him some grace, everybody. He's trying to read, and I threw this on him at the last minute.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to do any independent research.
No. So just give him some grace. I'm very happy that he's willing to do this at all.
Okay. Clarence House is beside the St. James Palace. It was built between 1825 and 27.
Okay.
And the cats are just destroying this house.
Either that or it's Tom.
No, that was the cats.
Okay.
And it was for Prince William Henry, Duke of Clarence.
I was wondering how that was named. Now I know.
It's apparently only been around for 2 centuries.
The Queen Mum lived there.
It was the London home of Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And the Queen Mother, yeah.
Yeah.
And was home of Queen Elizabeth II and while she was still princess for a time. Following their marriage to Prince Philip.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just a random fact they put in, but in 2000, the Queen Mother received her 100th birthday card from her daughter at the gates of Clarence House.
Oh.
So. Okay. Apparently, most of the house today is still under the Queen Mum's artistic influence. And it hasn't really changed much.
Yeah.
And when it was being prepared for the former Prince of Wales, it was heavily refurbished and redecorated. And apparently now features the Prince of Wales' own art collection.
Oh.
And apparently this is kind of common because each time the house's interior is changed to reflect the occupancy.
Okay.
But again, apparently Queen Mum has had the most influence on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Prince Charles, now King Charles, he's the one that was the Prince of Wales. It wasn't William.
Yeah.
That lived there. We're talking about King Charles.
Yeah.
He adored his grandma. He adored her. Loved her so very much. Because she kind of took care of him. Because as you can imagine, your mom is the queen. She's going to be pretty busy. So I think Queen Mum and him have had a really good relationship.
The only other thing worth mentioning here is that it's very much a home, and it's the last remaining Great London house to be maintained in the purpose for which it was built.
Really?
And that's the last thing they put on here.
Okay. I didn't figure they would have a whole lot about Clarence House because it doesn't have much.
It kind of repeats itself, really, on this page, so there's not much to talk about.
Okay. Hang on. Let me put this down. And then I will... Sorry, I have not rolled this at all, so I have a feeling we're going to have some popping because I haven't rolled it, and I haven't rolled it with a roller, but I have kept it rolled up in a pool noodle. So we might have some drops. I might have to roll it and then put new in. So next would be St. James Palace. And it doesn't really have it has some more knowledge. There. There's a lot of things happen there. I missed a 1 and an 8. Give him a moment to read ahead.
Okay, just some general stuff first. It was the primary residence of kings and queens of England for over 300 years until Victoria. It is still the home of several members of the royal family, and the palace hosts up to 100 receptions a year for charity work.
Oh. Okay.
Used to entertain incoming state visitors. Receptions for charities with royal family members involved, mind you.
Yeah. Is garden parties there?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything about those.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of important parts of royal protocol are based from here. The Royal Collections Trust, Martial Diplomatic Corps, Central Chancery of the Orders of Knighthood, Chapel Royale, Gentlemen at Arms, Yeomen of the Guard, and the King's Watermen.
Oh.
Are all located there.
Okay.
Pretty much it's all for receptions, and sometimes family occasions. They say the last one was the christening of Louis in 2018, or
Louis.
It is Louis. Okay.
It is Louis.
Wanted to make sure I got that right.
Yep, it's Louis.
Okay.
Because there is a Prince Louis right now.
Yeah, that was in 2018.
Yes.
For his christening.
Yes. Prince Louis is a Spitfire, and I absolutely love that because his daddy was too at that age.
Okay. Built between 1531 and 1536. I'm so used to just saying the second half of numbers.
Yeah.
By Henry VIII. I am.
Yep. Yes, he was. He was.
And most of the original building survives today.
Oh.
So most of the original brickwork is the original.
Oh, that's good.
So
they made them big and mighty then.
That includes the Chapel Royale, the gatehouse, some turrets, and 2 surviving Tudor rooms in the state apartments.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, a good chunk of it is original.
That's good. Because you always want the history to remain. You don't want the history to go.
Okay. Here you can show the audience this one because That might be a footprint of Henry VIII in the walls.
Oh, wow.
They
Let's
are
see.
not sure.
They're not sure, but that could be the footprint. Right there. The outline of a foot etched into the wall, so he knew where to place his foot during the dismounting of his horse. Well, I didn't know that. That's the legend. Is the legend true? Don't know. It's the legend.
Okay. Mary Tudor signed the surrender treaty at Cowes there in 1558. When the Spanish Armada friend Elizabeth WIP, she lived there. So.
Okay.
It doesn't say the year for that one, but. Okay. Okay, both Charles II and James II were born and baptized there, as were Mary of York, Anne of York, and James Francis Edward Stuart.
Okay.
I don't know who the king was at the time. They just show up one archive drawing. But in 1782, they had the king's birthday ball there. Whoever the king was in 1782.
Okay.
Okay. Apparently, after Whitehall was destroyed, all monarchs until William IV lived there. For part of the time. Okay. Speaking of Windsor being in a fire, in 1809, much of the east and south ranges of the palace were destroyed.
Really?
But the state rooms were restored by 1813.
Sorry, my board keeps moving and I don't want it to do that weird autofocus thing. Okay.
William IV was the last sovereign to live there as a residence. Court functions were still held there afterwards, though.
No. I can't have auto. That drives me crazy.
Okay. Queen Victoria married Prince Albert in the Chapel Royale there in 1840. And court levees continued to be held at St. James Palace until 1939. And that's it.
Okay. That's all of St. James.
Yeah. St. James has history, but not really any recent history.
And do go online and read more. We're just doing because we have a lot of residents to go through.
Yeah, and like I said, I think that's probably the only time they're going to mention Whitehall, probably, because Whitehall was destroyed, so.
Yeah. Okay, now the Palace of Holyrood. That's in Scotland.
The Holyrood House.
The Holyrood House. Yes, in Scotland. Let's learn about that.
Official residence of the monarchy in Scotland. Was a monastery at first in 1128. At the end of the Royal Mile in Edinburgh.
Edinburgh?
No, Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Not wrong spelling.
Oh, it's Edinburgh. Okay, keep going.
Okay. There is two. Okay. Close association with the history of Scotland itself is a close focus for national celebrations today. Apparently there's a Monarch's Holyrood Week, which runs from the end of June to the beginning of July every year.
Yeah.
Okay, it's used as a royal palace today, but it's open to the public year-round.
Oh.
Center point of celebrating the best of Scotland.
Yeah.
Just repeats itself. Da, 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 da. There is an honors list that's recognized twice yearly. There. At New Year and the King's birthday in June.
Oh.
Okay. Apparently, the first garden party in the grounds was held by King George V and Queen Mary.
Okay.
And it's become a tradition ever since. Each year, members of the royal family entertain around 8,000 guests from all walks of Scottish life during the Holyrood Week. Okay. It's high on a rock overlooking the town, and it's exposed to the elements, since it's not technically in a castle. And apparently in 1501, James IV built his own palace on the grounds, close to the abbey.
Oh.
That was for him and his bride, Margaret Tudor. Only a fragment of the the gatehouse survives today. James V added a massive tower in 1528 to 32. New west front south of the tower between 35 and 36 of the 1500s. Okay. Mary, Queen of Scots, spent most of her life there. Married two of her husbands in the palace.
Oh.
Her secretary was murdered there, apparently. Led by her husband.
Oh.
Who was jealous of him.
Yeah, I think I did watch something about that, because I like watching different documentaries, and I think, there was a murder plot, if I remember correctly.
And everyone thought Margaret Rose's life was the most weird one in the royal family.
Wow, she's got
a life, but
she's something, all right.
Yeah, but I think she's been beaten by Queen of Scots.
Yeah, I think so too. By a lot, because Mary, Queen of Scots, was a very different character. And if you have not ever watched anything about Mary, Queen of Scots, yeah, poor thing. She just had it rough.
Yeah. Well, they do say it was the darkest years of the castle.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Renovations were made in 1633 for the Scottish coronation of James's son, Charles I.
Okay.
Well, here we go again. During the Civil War, Oliver Cromwell's troops were belittled at the palace.
Oh.
Billeted, not belittled.
Yeah.
Sorry. I did not expect Oliver Cromwell to be mentioned twice in this.
Well, there you go.
There we go. Okay. Charles II was crowned in Scotland in 1651, but never returned there. But he did initiate a substantial rebuilding of the Holyrood House in the 70s. 1670s.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
Yeah. In the house.
Hey, Carl. Oh, no, it wasn't Carl.
Betty and Blizzard.
Betty and Blizzard. Yeah, it's always chaos. Okay. King George V and Queen Mary continued restoration in the 20th century. And they were instrumental in bringing the Holyrood House up to the 20th century.
installing bathrooms, electricity, and lifts.
Lifts. They get
Lifts.
elevators.
No, it's lifts.
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 Lifts. Just like it's Edinburgh.
It was differently spelled. It wasn't Edinburgh.
It's Edinburgh.
I've seen how you spell Edinburgh. It was not that.
Edinburgh. Okay, keep on going.
Okay.
You're doing great.
There's really much.
Really, the older stuff, the little smaller places, there's really not, like Clarence House is not very much, and Holyrood House isn't very much, because it's, you know.
Okay, the Queen's Gallery is there.
Okay, what's in the Queen's Gallery?
I don't know.
Oh.
They just mention it. It
Oh.
has exhibitions of it, but from the Royal Collection, but it's the Queen's Gallery.
Okay, maybe she just puts what she wants to.
You can find out at the Collection Trust website.
Okay.
Um,
You'll have to go to the Collections Trust.
Again, it's open year-round to the public.
The Collections Trust is rct.uk. I go there to I shout out, I guess you would say, that trust, because there's a lot of good information on that as well. So I guess you, sir, are done, because I'm done. We only have one more square, and that's the last video, and then tomorrow I dekit, and then the Queen is over. I wanted both the Queen and Steampunk Kitty to be done in April. Well, it took a little longer because it's the 10th of March, or 10th of May, excuse me. It's the 10th of May, but in all fairness, you know, we've been giving Wyatt a lot of attention because he's been doing great things this month. So yes.
I hope you all enjoyed this very much train wreck of a video from me being last minute trying to catch up with info I don't know, and I'm reading off the fly, and cats that are causing havoc.
Chaos and yeah.
And which probably is going to show up on the audio, and people are going to be like, are they okay?
They're okay. We have 9 cats. It's going to happen. And it's getting towards, you know, time for bed and wrapping everything up. And they're trying to blow up that last little bit of steam.
Oh.
But
You got a visitor.
I do.
It's Charlotte.
Oh, hi, Mama. But I'm going to hide this envelope. But, because it's got addresses on it. But I got something in the mail. So very excited.
It's mail time?
It's mail time. I got, let me open it up. I got something in the mail. Oops, if you can, I don't know if you can see it or not. Park Heritage High School. Christopher, our lovely little Christopher. Yes, he's graduating high school. See, there he, I don't know if you can see because the lights aren't very good. Sorry, Chris.
We don't have her ring light on again. Chaos.
No, but yeah, see, there he is. There he is. That's Chris. Yay. He's our second, well, no, technically there's more. We have a total of 4 graduating. We've got Wyatt. We've got Chris. We've got Landon and Colton. So we got a lot of graduates this month. So Angela's going to be pretty busy, I think.
I have to do photos still for 2 of them.
Yes, senior photos. We've been doing senior photos and stuff too, and college photos, and Philip is being very busy too. So, yeah.
It's a busy month for photos for me. I've had to do 2 grads. I had to do 2 more grads. I've had to do 1
College.
Boy Scout. I had to do 1 Boy Scout weekend, and I've still got a cowboy train coming up soon. So
Okay, so I'm going to let you do Boy Scouts. Okay, and then where is this all happening?
I just we don't need to do a plug. Right?
Yeah, we do. We've already said it. If you don't, I will.
You can do the plug. I did it last time.
So, Philip has been doing a lot of picture taking. He did Boy Scouts Day.
Actually, I can't. I just realized I can't actually do the Wild West train this year.
And there's a Wild West train coming soon.
That I can't do.
Can't do. And that is at the... Where is it at?
The Whitewater Valley Railroad.
Whitewater Valley Railroad, Connorsville, Indiana. And I want to do a couple of diamond paintings, custom diamond paintings to put in their station. And then I'm going to do, you guess it, a documentary about it. Of course, because any special things, I'm becoming a documentary person. I don't know. I just love to talk about things, I guess. And it's good, different content that people will learn about things. And so, yeah. And they've given me the thumbs up to do the documentary. I got to get information from them, though. I got the thumbs up. Yay! So, and I got the thumbs up from my other channel to do a documentary with interviews. So excited. So, yeah, more things are happening. More diamond paintings are going to be given away. And we get content. I love it. So that'll be happening soon. I don't know exactly when. But that'll be happening eventually. So, with that, I'll do my normal peak. Oh, 5 minutes and 22 seconds. Do you know that joke?
No.
Okay. One day I was reading, I'll tell the joke to Philip. One day I was reading how much time it was, and it was like an hour and so many minutes. I was like, oh, it's been 1:20 something instead of an hour. So now everything is the joke of, oh, it's been 5 minutes and 24 seconds. No, it's really been 52 minutes. That's our joke. So, with that, I'm going to do this last video. Oh, and then the beloved queen is done. Gonna talk about Kensington Palace, which you know that's very popular. And then maybe some more information tidbits. It just depends on how fast it can get read. I don't know how long Kensington Palace is. So we'll see. But with that, hugs and kisses. And bye from me. Love you. So glad you're here. Let's see if he gets it. Say bye, Philip.
Good night, everybody.
Oh! He didn't get it. Say bye, Philip.
Oh.
Start again. Say goodbye, Philip.
It's just a train.
Goodbye, Philip.
Say goodbye, Philip. Say it.
Bye, Philip.
Bye.